Is Open Roads worth our time? We're about to find out. Welcome everyone to episode 182 of 1 Hour, 1 Decision, 1H1D. I am Chris.
And I am Tom.
And we take 60 minutes and play a random game on Xbox Game Pass and decide, well, Tom, is there enough roads that are open?
There are plenty of roads that are open, Chris, but do you want to be on them?
Yeah, well, we're about to find out, aren't we, Tom? As we will be talking about open roads developed by the Open Roads team.
That seems like it's cheating.
A little bit. They're just like, quick, we need a name for our game. Open Roads, done. There we go. And then they shipped it. And what they did ship was a game that came out in March of 2024. So fairly recent. And I play this on the PC, 8.12 gigabytes on the PC. Tom, what about you?
On the Series S, it clocks in at 8.64 gigabytes.
Okay. Nominal change.
I think we're used to that half a gig of Xbox extra.
We'll give them that little variance, if you want to call it that. But what about that game? What kind of game is it?
I put first person point and click, and then I wrote adventure with a question mark at the end. I'm doubtful it's even a game, but go ahead, Chris. What did you put?
I put first person story based adventure.
Yeah,
so very similar. It's adventure. There's stuff happening, and you're along for the ride in more ways than one.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we'll talk about. But before we get to that, what's the game loop?
I have explore a home and pick up objects that prompt dialogue with your in-game mom.
Yeah, I didn't. I feel like we were on the same wavelength here, but I did not talk about the in-game mom. In fact, I just talked about the fact that you are walking around and picking up stuff to progress the story.
Yes. That story happens between you and your mom.
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And let's talk about what we liked about this game.
Okay. So since you're talking to your mom a lot, I think it's important for me. I thought the dialogue between Tess and Opal, who are the mother and the daughter, I think it feels very natural.
It does.
I think it feels very much like a conversation or conversations that would occur between a mother and her daughter.
Yeah, I agree. And I would go so far just to kind of take a step back, actually. So the story is about Tess and Opal, and they are actually, I guess, cleaning up their Tess's grandmother, Opal's mother's home.
Yes.
They're trying to just kind of clean. And they've lived in this home, and now they're getting out of Dodge. They're getting boot because the grandmama did not apparently pay her mortgage bills or something like that. So the bank's like, we're going to take this back now. So they've got a little bit of time to just kind of explore what's going on in the home and get out. So yeah. And Tess, this is set in, I guess you and I talked about early 2000s.
Yes.
And Tess is, I believe, a 10th or 11th grader at this time.
It does appear that way. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you play as her and you're just walking around, like we said, picking up stuff. And I got to say, that art direction I thought was really cool looking because for some reason, I don't know why I guess I didn't really look at the kind of the screenshots and stuff like that about this game. I heard about it vaguely. I heard some people like being really excited about this game, but then when you saw it in action, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it gave me this kind of neat little vibe. So to explain, the characters are all in hand-drawn kind of 2D animation. They even have some like, you almost look like outlines or like someone forgot to erase some of the sketch lines in the characters at points.
Yes.
Which I thought was kind of cool.
It's got a comic-y, cartoony kind of look to it, cel-shaded.
Right, exactly. So it's got this 2D art juxtaposed on a 3D environment. And it's got just all these little tchotchkes of the early 2000s, which I just thought was pretty cool. I love the little like, there's a video store that they apparently manage or own or something. And then there's those little fruit erasers that you pick up in your room. I was like, what? I remember these things. It's like, so it's definitely a hit of nostalgia for sure. And the other thing I thought the art reminded me of, gave me like Dragon's Lair or like old Disney animation.
Yes.
I don't know if you
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Dragon's Lair is a good point of reference.
Like, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. So I'm really cool with that. What about you? What else did you got here, Tom?
I was very much into the whole nostalgia of reliving 2003. That was pretty cool. I liked all the stuff that you're talking about. There, they had DVDs rented. Mm-hmm. Even Tess's hair is done in that kind of like double ponytail thing going on, which is like from that time.
Yeah.
They had virtual pets in there, Tamagotchis, digital pets, whatever you want to call them, from that time. And so like the story, we're talking a lot about objects are in the game, and that's because you're walking around picking stuff up basically the whole time.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you pick up something and Tess will go, "Mom!" You're like, "I need to talk to you about this thing I just picked up." And so you learn about the characters and the family mystery through these items as you're you take a photo, you flip it over, on the back of it, it says the people who are in the photo and maybe the date or where it was. And it's like, oh, okay, this is dad. This is this is grandma. This is, so you're learning it all through the items.
Absolutely.
And I found that kind of interesting, because it's sort of like, a lot of times you'll play a game like Skyrim or something like that, and it's like the game will tell you lore through objects in the world, but that's like secondary to whatever action-y RPG kind of game that you're playing. Whereas here, like the game you're playing is pick up the object and read the lore piece.
Right. Well, yeah, and it's funny because in a way, I would love if Bethesda did it this way. It's there's like a subtle difference. I don't know what it is. Well, I think it's also like you're talking to another character and you're having this dialogue as opposed to just reading about something. There are points where you do read things. Of course, there's like newspaper clippings and stuff like that are in the world. But it's just like the fact, it just felt a little bit more alive because you're having this dialogue with someone else. You're not just reading something. And like, the other person's not just like staring at you like, what is this guy doing? Like, just
kind of waiting. Like the universe doesn't pause to let you interact with the object. Like
exactly. The other thing I do want to pick up in terms of early 2000 vibes is the fact that there is like a MapQuest printout of the directions.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
Pretty awesome.
That was awesome. I was like, yes, that was so good.
I remember those in the real world, and so it was fun to. Oh, what do the directions say? And she's holding up pieces of paper that were printed off. And I was like, yep, this is what we used to do. We didn't used to do phone GPS.
We were all Magellans at one point, but now we
Copilot was a real job.
Yeah, absolutely, it was. What else? Kind of going back to your environment storytelling. Yes, I agree. This game did a really good job, not just with the stuff that you picked up, but you can almost see as you're kind of uncovering stuff, as you go through every room, you kind of see the decline of this lady too. I don't know, like if you saw like, everything's like the pictures together, they're all like very cheery and happy. I believe she had some sort of dementia. Is that basically what happened?
Yeah.
Near the end. And then like, so you could see at one point, like if you go into the grandmother's bathroom, you could see like she's like got some medicine like that she has to take, and then of course the shower with like the little bench that she has to sit on, and someone probably has to bathe her. So stuff like that, it just kind of made you feel like, oh wow, like you had some sort of like you're establishing more connection with this person that they've just lost, and clearly there's some history there, and more as you uncover, because there is a mystery that happens in this game, which I thought was very intriguing, because I'd say about like at the 45-minute to 50-minute mark is when I hit it. And that was, you find a suitcase, and in this hidden in the attic and you find out that grandma might have been sneaking around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. We need to find out what this lady's been doing.
Yeah.
Because, you have one perception of someone your entire life, and then boom, something changes, something happens, something gets uncovered.
Yeah, skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. Or in the attic in this case. So, what else did you like about this topic?
I mean, I'm kind of tapped out on my likes. I think that each of these items is pretty strong, but there's not a whole lot of game here, which maybe is a good segue point. I'm not sure.
Well, real quick, I will say that the voice acting between the daughter and the mother was quite good, and I guess you could talk about it a little bit later in our other thoughts, but they were done well. But let's go into our dislikes here, Tom.
Yeah, so the gameplay is entirely walking around and clicking on random stuff. Like that's the whole game. You pick up things, you put them down. Occasionally some dialogue happens, but that's the game. There's no win condition. There's no lose condition. I'm not sure that it's a game. Well, it's more like an interactive art or kind of like interactive, experience.
Yeah.
Virtual novel. Is a virtual novel a game? I don't
visual novel, I guess.
Visual novel, yeah.
But I agree with you. And this totally gave me the negative Bethesda vibes. Because like you said, you were literally picking up everything, waiting for the prompt to continue the story.
Yeah.
I guess you have a notebook that kind of gives you your objectives for whatever the thing is. But yeah, it was just a lot of that. Finding the thing to get you to the next part of the story, which was, a little bit frustrating because like the frustrating part for me was like, maybe it happens later, but so far, like every item, like I was like, you were rotating it. I was thinking like Resident Evil kind of vibes. Or maybe there's
like are there secret things?
Right. Exactly. So it's like, if you rotate a mug, will it be like a sticker underneath or something that you can pull off? Or I don't know, something like that. But as of that hour, nothing like that happened. So
and it gives you this like, there's so many objects you can interact with, and like most of them don't matter.
Right. It's like, and I thought like maybe there's an opportunity for you to use an item to put it into something or whatever. No, nothing like that happened. So that was kind of disappointing. And because of that, I just felt like this game just took a while to get to the mystery. Like there was like certain gates that you had to get to as a player to understand like what's happening, like to learn more about the grandmother, to learn more about the family in general, because the other part of it is that she was married. Like obviously Opal had a father, and the father died fairly young, I believe. So there's just stuff like that you learn about as you pick up objects and talk to your mom. But yeah, like you literally just pick up things. And one of the biggest frustrations for me, while the art was great, why no moving of the mouth? They took the time. They took the time to do all that great like animation and stuff like that, and artwork in general, and then they just gave up on not moving the mouths. So that was
the lips not syncing to the character dialogue. To me, it was such a like yuck. Like I was like, because it's the game. Like the game is watching these characters talk to each other,
right?
And it's like, you couldn't just run like some kind of. I feel like AI could do this for you. Like you where you just draw a certain number of frames of different mouths and then just let a computer figure it out. I don't know.
You know what this actually kind of reminded me of? It gave me like Space Ghost C-Lab 2021 vibes.
Yes.
Like where they just had limited amount of animations and they're just trying to like wing it with that. But I feel like even with C-Lab and Space Ghost, they still made the mouths move somewhat in sync. It was just the animations that they used for the same thing. And like, I guess the more frustrating part was like, there were certain times where it looked like they were about to like talk or use their mouths appropriately. And then they didn't. It was just like, and then that's it. Very frustrating. So
yeah,
I don't know. But Tom, this is a first person game.
Yes.
and no faking feet.
Yeah, I saw it. I looked down and I was like, oh, this is going to make Chris's list. So I left it off of mine, but I thought about you.
Just draw me some 2D feet. You could have done that. Just do that. I don't know anything. And you can't jump in this game. You can't do anything. Just move. Just move. Move in a forward, backwards. That's it. You can't crouch. There were certain times where I was like, why can't I crouch? So that was definitely frustrating for sure. What else you got here, Tom?
Well, I'll tell you that I was frustrated that periodically I had kind of these glitches in the controls where my controller was kind of fighting my input. So like I'd be trying to move left, for example, and it would just like kind of like stutter and then like shove me. Oh. And then I'd get back control of the character. Maybe I was stuck in the geometry or something. Huh. If I had the ability to jump, that probably would have solved it.
Just saying, guys.
You know, it took 45 minutes to get to the open road.
Yeah.
So the game is called Open Roads, but the first 45 minutes are just walking around Grandma's house.
Yeah, just open house. It's open house. That's it.
Yeah, or closing the house. I don't know.
Well, you are closing the house, but like trying to get to the open road. And there's only one road, apparently. That was the other thing. When you got on the open road, I don't know if you felt this. It just felt like you were moving at a snail's pace. If you looked through the dash and all this stuff, it looked like incredibly slow. But if you looked to the side, it actually seemed like it was at a decent pace. It was weird. It was weird and kind of just unsettling in a way. I'll say it like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. Again, just an open road for you to kind of continue this conversation with your mom and find out what's going on with Grandma and Pop or whatever they call each other.
Yeah, and I'll button up my dislikes by saying that like this is not an uplifting game.
Yeah.
The subject matter is heavy. It's about a death in the family. Mm-hmm. You're losing the house.
Yep.
Like this is a Debbie Downer of an hour, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then like her parents are separated, like
yep.
God. Tessa's family parents are separated, so it's like dealing with that kind of tension there because clearly something over there that happened.
You get text from dad, and then mom gets kind of nasty about it.
Exactly.
Right,
so
caught in the middle.
Children. But all right, cool. So shall we get to our other thoughts then, Tom?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, How Long to Beat says, Tom, this game takes about 2 hours to complete. 2 hours.
That sounds amazing.
It does. And it is xCloud compatible with PC and Xbox cross progression. So that's always good.
Does that even matter when it's only 2 hours long?
I mean, we only played 1 hour, Tom.
Fair.
So that's what I got here. What you got, Tom?
Okay, so you touched on it earlier. Mm-hmm. This voice acting by these two ladies is very, very good. And I was not surprised to discover that it's Carrie Russell and Caitlin Dever.
Oh.
So two household names if you watch films.
Yeah.
Explains why the voice acting's so good.
Right.
This game is made by the same team that made Gone Home, which some people really like and some people really don't like, and is kind of the progenitor of the name or the term a walking sim.
Got it.
So Gone Home kind of created that as a genre.
I would say Skyrim built that first. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Anyway, go on.
There's actually a game when you're playing Skyrim.
All right. Depends, but go on.
They can be. Okay. I mean, I'm just chasing butterflies in Skyrim. Maybe it's not so different. They also made Tacoma. But the reason this team is called Open Roads Team is because there was some drama with the lead developer, who is Steve Gaynor. He left the team, and so they didn't want to use the same development name that they used for Gone Home and Tacoma, and pivoted it seems kind of late in the process, and therefore had to name this team something else.
Oh, so it was the other way. They got the name of the game, and they're like, oh, no, we don't have a team name. Open Road.
Right.
All right.
Nice. The
Nice.
team that makes Open Road, obviously.
There you go.
That's all we've made so far.
That's all we've made so far.
Even though, technically speaking, they had made 2 other games.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, Tom, we have come to our final decision. Are we keeping this game Open Roads on our respective hard drives, or are we leaving it at that gas station and never coming back to see it again? I don't know.
Like you stop to get gas and everything that's like junk in the car during the road trip just goes right in the trash receptacle there. Well, okay. So at the 1 hour mark, I arrived at the family summer home, and I think things were starting to get real interesting. I was like, oh, okay, we've gotten through the car ride, or at least the first car ride. Are there more car rides? I sure hope so. If considering the name of the game.
Right.
I thought things were getting interesting, and knowing that I'm about halfway done makes this kind of an easy choice for me to just stick with it and finish it, because I want to know how this movie ends.
Interesting. There's definitely more to do in Hellblade 2, but I feel like it's a similar style, like very on rails experience on both of them. But potato here. But for me, this
2
game,
hours.
this is true too. This is not 2 hours. That's a 6 hour game. This is a 2 hour game. With that in mind, the game, I had the same feeling. I felt like it just took way too long to get to the crux, the inciting incident, so to speak. And I was literally gonna, like, it was funny because you and I were talking about this before we started this game. And I was like, I think you like, we both were like, if this game couldn't catch our like interest in that first hour, that's a problem, especially if they're saying it only takes 2 hours. And for a hot second, it felt like it didn't. It really didn't. Like if I didn't get to that mystery, I would have dropped it. I would be like, nope, I'm not playing any more of this. But thankfully, they figured out how to get to that point within the hour. So the mystery is there. The mystery got going, and I'm with you. I'm going to keep playing this to figure out what's going on. So that's my thoughts here, and those are our thoughts. Let us know what you think of this game. Follow us and say hello on Twitter and Threads at TC1H1D. Shoot us an email at TC1H1D@outlook.com. Check out our extremes on Twitch at twitch.tv/1H1D. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can send a comment down below. Say how much you really enjoy these games, and maybe what's your favorite Kerry Russell movie? How about that? Because that's just, I'm curious. But 1H1D is part of the Q2B network. And if you like any great gaming content, check it all out at quitthebill.com/network. Now, Tom.
And that's it. And then we just leave, and
we are gone forever. See you later. That was the end of Game Pass. We've completed everything. Just kidding. We have not, because games just keep on coming out on the service, and
it's endless.
It's endless. Quite endless. Now we're going to hit that surprise money and figure out what we're playing next. So here we go. Okay. Call of the Wild, the Angler.
So I hear Call of the Wild, and I think I'm going to be a wolf or something.
Yeah,
and then you say the Angler, and I'm pretty sure that's fishing.
That's fishing. It really is about fishing, supposedly. We'll find out. And that's it for this episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.